What up? Back again. And today I want to do this video, reaction video to the Phil Scott show, formerly the Phil Advice show or Diaspora, whatever the fuck. Okay. Shout out to him. But we do got to do a reaction to this because in this video, Phil is finally admitting that modern women have a psychological edge over modern men. I'm going to prove that with this clip that he had just put out earlier today. The title says, "Woman claims men can't stand a woman who wants to be alone. She's in great error." Okay, so we're going to talk about this real quick. Let's get to it. Fair use as always. Let's go.
You got this sister that's going to want to just give a message to the men, letting you know that a lot of them are just happier, being alone. And a lot of you can't figure out why, but let's have a discussion about that.
It honestly pains me to see women constantly explaining to men that they would rather be alone than to be in a relationship with them. They don't understand. They don't understand because the cognitive dissonance.
Okay, off rip. All right, so look, the bitch is right. All right, I know you niggas gonna be mad. It is what it is. For some reason, you niggas cannot understand that these fucking hoes want to be by themselves. They don't need a man. They have their own careers. They can get dick whenever they want to. They can get adequate housing. They don't need your dumb ass. All right, that's why the SBE shit is so stupid, because these hoes literally don't need men. And the sooner niggas can accept that, the sooner that your mental is just going to be so much better. You're not waiting on hoes to come correct. You're not waiting on them to act right. I just don't understand why niggas can't understand this. You have to adapt to the current day and time. But anyway,
can't imagine because they can't do it. They can't be alone. Literally, they ruminate when they're alone. Their mind wanders all over the place. They hate their own company. A man cannot stand the thought of being alone. So he cannot believe you when you say you are happier alone. They can't do it. So they can't imagine.
I'm about to make you niggas mad again, but she is right. And it's clear to see with the content from the SB all the way from Kevin Samuels all the way to modern day, today's time. Men, and I've come to that conclusion as well. I've already said this. You niggas cannot be alone. Men cannot be alone. For some reason, I don't know what the deal is, but y'all niggas go crazy being in the house by yourself. You just think you need a bitch around all the time, and that puts you in a position of weakness, because modern women know this. They know that men, quote unquote, need women, right? And because they know that, you don't think they're going to use that against you? You don't think they're going to use that power against you, stupid niggas, when they know that you need them, but they don't need you? It puts them in the position of power.
That you can do it. They honestly believe that you're lying. Stop trying to convince them that you're happier alone. We know we are. Just be alone.
She's right. There are women out here that are just fine being by themselves. They don't want a man. They don't need a man. And it's their God-given right to be alone if they so choose to be.
Okay, shout out to Field. At least he says, okay, so we're getting some common ground here. All right, so he knows the bitch is right. He's saying, okay, yes, she is right. There are women out here. Well, he can't understand that that's most women. He still thinks it's a small sector of women who don't want to be with the man.
But we know in the end they're not really alone, because they have a community of women to be around. They hang around women. They call in women, so they're not truly alone.
All right, that's disingenuous. We're talking about, the conversation is about men and women being together, not friendships among the same genders. He's trying to switch it up. No, they mean that woman can be without a man. All right, so he's trying to sidetrack.
In the house. But she is wrong in some instances. She say men can't be alone. Well, first of all, God himself said it's not good for man to be alone. So if men aren't trying to be alone, then maybe they follow in the leadership and wisdom of God.
Oh my God! Now here we go. Now this the thing right here. You got to bring God in it. God said men not supposed to be alone. Well, God said the same thing for women. Obey your husband and all that shit. They don't give a fuck. All right, but it's the men who continuously want to maintain this outdated situation based on outdated religious ideas, and that's why men are fucking in the position they are in today, crying on hoes, asking them why they're not acting right. Because you got to follow the God. You know, once you bring God into it, you took an L. Because everybody don't believe in that shit. And on top of that, even the bitches who do believe in it, they don't listen to that part of the Bible. They don't give a fuck.
Because he knows a whole lot better than you and me, right? But if a man wants to be alone for a time, it's a little easier today for him to do so. And I'll explain to you why. Everything today, a man could have a la carte. At one point in time, he couldn't have that. For instance, you talking about a woman cleaning your house. He can hire a cleaning service now, and a woman or team of women to actually come clean his house. He can get it done twice a week if he'll like 3 times a week. If he want it done Monday through Friday, he can get his house clean every day. He'd have to pay for it. If he wanted someone to cook his food, he can use if he would like, or he can get meal prep. They got people that do meal prep all the time. They put out a menu, and
this is a fact. I'm glad he's saying this. All right, yes, you can get what you want from a quote unquote wife a la carte, meaning you can get it individually. You just have to subsidize it in individually. So this is and this is where niggas need to understand. This is what you're going to have to do moving forward. So I'm glad he's saying this, because I've been saying this. I've been saying hire cleaners. I hire people to clean my shit. All right. And every once in a while, I hire somebody to do meal prep, but mostly cleaning, I outsource it. So I'm glad he's saying this, but the problem's going to come up in a second.
Say, hey, this is what you want, these meals. He paid for the meals. He has somebody cook him meals that he can have and warm up and eat. There you go. He got meal prep, right? If you look at it in the area of intimacy, y'all have taken away the sting of shame. So,
no more shame. No more shame, blame, and explain. That's look. It seems like Phil might be coming around. He might be understanding that these hoes don't give a fuck about SBE. They don't give a fuck about being shamed, blamed, and explained for ruining the family. He might be coming around. All right. He said, y'all taking away the sting of shame. Yeah, bro. It's just we're in the modern society, bro. That shit don't mean nothing.
He can meet a woman on the first day, lay down with her, and she don't feel in her mind, or society don't feel that she is, a 304 for doing so. So if a man is getting all that done, he doesn't need the woman to pay his bills or do anything for him outside of a few things. I mean, the way things go these days, he can sleep with multiple women if he would like, and that's okay. If he's willing to pay a couple of
facts
bills here and there for him, and that's fine.
Facts. So so Phil knows that in today's time, even though modern women don't want to be with men, at least Phil knows that men have the option to create the life they want to create. And I'm glad he's saying this, because you don't have to be fucking trying to kiss these hoes' ass for a wife, and you can get everything you want from a woman individually. You might have to outsource it to different hoes, but you can still have a complete life without begging a bitch to be a fucking wife, all right, and to be a fucking outdated traditional woman. And there probably are some bitches out here who want to do the traditional shit, but that's not the majority. And the ones who even entertain that, they're going to use that to get your resources and leave your dumb ass anyway. But at least Phil knows, and I've been telling niggas, you have the option to utilize women however you want to, as long as you got the means to do so. But let's get to the part where he's going to admit that modern women have a psychological edge over modern men.
I mean, this is kind of how society is working. If that man want to be by himself, but men understand that gets old real quick. It gets very old.
There it is. All right. So he's saying men understand that gets old very quick. So it gets old to the men to be single in modern times, but to these modern women, it don't get old at all. That is the issue right there. First of all, but I do got to correct that, because now that I'm 35, mid 30s, I still do not feel the need to wife up one woman. Like, I still don't. Why would I risk my legal sovereignty, my financial sovereignty? That shit it would never get old to me. I'm getting older and it still hasn't changed. I didn't have plenty of niggas tell me, oh, when you get older, you're gonna want. No, I love having freedom in the modern era. Okay, so but that's not most men. That's just me. So if for most men, which I agree with him, getting services from women a la carte gets old, but to the modern woman, right, it doesn't get old, then it shows that she has a psychological edge over modern men because she can be alone and men cannot. And that in turn gives the modern woman more power over the modern man because the modern woman knows that you need her. And so when somebody knows you need them, that gives them power over you. It gives them a psychological edge over you, a mental edge, so they can play mental games with men because they know men are going to stick around. It gives them more power, okay, because they know you are the dependent. You are in the position of need. She's not. So even in modern relationship, that's why the woman always going to have the more power, not only legally and financially, but also psychologically because she knows you need her. She knows you need her. All right. And that's always going to put a man in a position of weakness, being in a position of dependency and need to a woman when it's not reciprocated.
And a lot of men are very traditional. So they want a wife, they want to build a family, and as they should. And so for you to say, well, men,
Okay. So, yeah. So let me stop it right here. So he's saying men want a wife in the family as they should. Okay. So, and how I look at it is that if a man wants a family, men are going to have to understand that that shit's not going to look the same as it did 30, 40, 50 years ago. All right, it's going to be a different way of, having a family now. Because the traditional way puts you in the crosshairs of legal liability to where you can be, sent back to nothing, to zero financially. So if a man wants to have a family, in my opinion, men have to start exploring different routes so that they don't have to risk their life to do it. I've already talked about surrogacy, uh, but it's other ways. I mean, co-parenting, it's not going to be the traditional route anymore because we don't need each other for survival. If men do not start adapting to modern times, especially when having a family, men are going to continue to get fucked up on family court. Men are going to continue to lose everything to these hoes because these hoes know that they got it in the bag right now.
can't be alone, good. That's a good thing. They can't be. Because God said it wasn't wise for us to be alone. And be alone, good. Thing that gets old real quick. It gets very old. And a lot of men are very traditional. So they want a wife. They want to build a family, and as they should. And so for you to say, well, men can't be alone, good. That's a good thing. They can't be.
No, it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. If a man cannot be alone, it is not a good thing in today's time because that is your weakness. All right. And this is not the day and age to have weaknesses exposed like this. It's not the day and age to have weaknesses exposed like this. If you cannot be alone, to me, you are incomplete. That's my opinion. You don't have anything to occupy your mind, to occupy your time, except trying to cater to a bitch all day. To me, that is a man of weakness. Niggas need to start learning about hobbies. Shout out to Thai City, and start trying to do things that can occupy their time instead of trying to cater to a bitch all the time, because that is an element of weakness which modern woman exploits.
Because God said it wasn't wise for us to be alone. Now,
Nigga, fuck what God says, bro. I'm telling you, man, that religion is what literally is making men more wicked. How come I don't see these hoes saying God said you should listen to your husband? God said, and you shouldn't speak at church. Women are not abiding by these rules like men are. Oh, and even when they're in the same religion.
if you want to go there, look at the original story of woman. Woman rebelled against God from the beginning. You couldn't listen to what God said do. God say don't eat from that tree of the knowledge.
Exactly. So if woman rebelled against God from the beginning, what the fuck makes you think they're not going to rebel against your ass? But men continuously take on this uphill battle of trying to tame a rebellious individual. Women they're chaotic like that. So when men try to tame them, you basically trying to tame a wild animal, a beast. And I just be laughing from the sidelines of how men are trying to tame somebody who has a legal and legal right to freedom.
knowledge of good and evil. He told that to the man and the woman. What ended up happening? We know the story. The serpent come up to the woman and say, "Hey, you want to eat of that tree?" Say, "No." Nah, at first, you acknowledge, say, God say, "Don't do that." I was like, "Are you sure that's what he really said?" He said, "He knows if you eat from there, you will gain the same knowledge as him." You know, but God said, we gonna die if that happens." Like, are you really gonna die? Like, come on now. I mean, look at that. Don't you want to know what he know?
I can't believe it. Religious AI SBE. They got AI SBE, religious AI SBE going on. This shit is fucking crazy.
Convinced her, and then she done it. Then gave it to the man, as we know the story. And then when God come looking for him, they hiding, talking about, where y'all at? Oh, we was hiding because we were naked. Naked? Who told you that? Oh, you ate from that tree, didn't you? And what did the man say? It's that woman you gave me. She the one gave it to me. He said, "You did what? Oh, you gave it to him? Oh, that was that serpent over there. He the one convinced me." Oh, really? And as he dealt with the serpent, as we know, he went to the woman and said, "Okay, well, since you're sitting up here listening to that serpent and you want to rebel, huh? Okay, well, I'm gonna put pain in your childbearing."
This shit pathetic. I gotta, I'd have had enough Sunday school. Let me just get to. All right. I mean, the fact that niggas believe, let me stop. Look, I'm not trying to come at nobody's religion or anything like that. It's just, anyway.
Men can't listen. Men have always, for the most part, tried to follow what God say do.
Yes. Men do. Men are more faithful and religious, and look where that has gotten modern men. Look where that has gotten modern men in today's time, being quote unquote the more morale, having more morale. Look where that's gotten niggas in the inferior position.
Try. So if they being rebellious, fellas, that's okay. You just continue to do. God said it's not good for you to be alone. So find you a wife. Let them do what they want to do. Find you a wife. If they try to ridicule you because you want to find a wife and have a family, then like I say, hey, I'm only doing what God said for me to do as a man. Remember, it said he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtain favor from the Lord. That's what. So I gotta find my wife, and so I find the good thing, and I obtain a particular favor that I would not have as a single man. So no, I'm not gonna listen to you.
Oh my God! So he's saying, so see, if I get a wife, I'm gonna get favor from God that a single man won't get. Well, I think the single man who has his freedom, has a skill set, has money coming in, has different hoes, has outsourcing cleaning, cooking and cleaning, don't have to be permanently attached and risk his livelihood. I think that's more favorable than having to come home to the same stanky bitch every day who don't even be a freak no more, don't even cook, don't even clean, telling your ass to cook and clean, telling your ass to do domestic duties because we got to split the chores. We're equal. I think the single man has more favor. And this is not to say, I mean, eventually one day, I might have an agreement with a bitch like, hey, had this kid and work this shit out, but you ain't living with me. It's no living together. I'm gonna have other bitches. I'd be goddamn if I give all my sovereignty to one bitch. I think the more favor goes to the single man. All right, that's my opinion. I mean, I'm looking at the results. Married men, you know, they're controlled, and this is proof of it right here because once again, he admits that modern women don't need men, but men need women, and he's using God as an excuse for that. What I'm saying is that puts modern men in the inferior position. It puts you in the position of need, and it puts her in the position of want. All right, she wants dick, but don't need you. You need her. That puts you in a position of weakness. It puts you in a position of inferiority, and you don't think these hoes are gonna use that against you? You don't think modern women, they're already doing it? You don't think modern women are gonna use that psychological edge against you? That's why they get what they want. That's why they are running things the way they're running things right now. This is why feminism is doing what it does, because they know that you need them more than they need you. And that's why modern men are taking the L. That's why women are controlling society, the direction of society. nowadays, and that just is what it is. Even the men who are in power, they're controlled by their bitch. All right, and so you cannot complain about why society is going the way it's going. This is why I choose to live the lifestyle I live. I like my freedom. I don't need a bitch. I want a bitch. All right. And even when I want a bitch, it's only going to be temporary. That because I'm not going to give up my power, and I'm not going to give up my psychological edge for no bitch. All right. And I don't feel any type of way. All right. And that's my opinion. My opinion is that that is a better route for modern men for mental clarity. All right. Just for mental health. All right. So he's admitting in this video that men need women, but the women don't need the men. He said that. All right. And when one person needs the other and the other doesn't need them, they have a psychological edge. They have an advantage. They have a better position in war. All right. It just is what it is. So with that being said, shout out to Phil, but I had to do a reaction to y'all. Be easy, and I'll holler at y'all next one. Peace.